Hi, Clayton. My question is, how do you know if you're looking on the MLS what kinds of homes that you can renovate and make a profit off of once you get it valued by a appraiser? Thank you.
All right, so we got a house flipping question. Now, I am not a house flipper. This is this is if this is the route you want to go instead of being I'm a real estate investor, and that's one thing I want to be very clear about here. There's differences here. Like I'm a real estate investor because I buy homes and keep them. If you're a house flipper, you're not a real estate investor. Like I always stop those people in their tracks. It's like, yeah, I'm a real estate investor. I'm like, oh, what do you do? Like, oh, I flip houses. That's not an investor. That's a job, right? You're only as good as your next flip. And then you're getting a big paycheck in which you have to pay capital gains taxes on it, significant capital gains taxes after you sell the property, right? Because you're not living in the property for 2 years as your primary residence, in which case you could avoid capital gains taxes. But so you're flipping it. Great. Hey, I love flippers. I've worked with them for many years in the wholesaling world, and I'd find a great property. I'd give it to them to flip. They'd pay me a 10, 30, 40, $50,000 finder's fee for finding this great property. And they do all the work. And then 9 months later, they'd sell it after they had all the contractors in there and did all the permitting and everything else. It's a job. And you need to know what you're doing to do a proper house flip. So having said that, if you are already in that market and that's something you absolutely want to do, if a property is on the MLS, chances are it's probably not going to be what you're looking for. Now, that's not to say that you can't find great deals on the MLS. What I would consider doing is reaching out to a number of different real estate agents who are active in your area. That is to say, I want you to go on to meetup.com in your area. And in local meetups, I want you to look for a local REIA meeting, REIA meeting, Real Estate Investor Group, okay? And in that investor group, I want you to become friends with the real estate agents who are active in this group. There are a lot of real estate agents, but most of them don't know anything about real estate investing or flipping. They simply are retail agents, meaning they want your house to look great. They will list it for you. They will do all the legwork and paperwork and get it listed and sold. Okay. They hate dealing with ugly duckling properties that you're going to go in and renovate. Real estate agents do not like them, dealing with them. However, there are some, and these are enterprising real estate agents who are absolutely plugged into this environment and will be a great resource to you. I would try to find those people in this real estate group who are active. They get listings all the time. Some are known as pocket listings, where they get them and they have them in the office, but they don't list them yet on the MLS. And they provide them to a few investors that are going to be doing house flips. So they don't even hit the MLS. They're like keeping them in their pocket, basically. Now, I know there's certain laws that are discouraging pocket listings, but it still goes on. And in fact, it's allowed if this is going to be an exclusive listing with a particular brokerage. So I would find these real estate agents, say, hey, I'm a house flipper. I would like you to start sending me deals that could potentially be worth renovating. Typically, you're going to find a house that's sold as is, meaning it's going to need, they're not going to do any fixing it up when they sell it. It's going to need a lot of work. And then you can start that process. I wouldn't even waste money on an appraiser. There are plenty of websites that do it for you, just a basic back of the page BPO appraisal online, even using something as simple as Zillow's Zestimate. You can look at Redfin, Zillow, use their Zestimate, pull a bunch of comparable properties that are within a quarter mile of that property that you're thinking about buying, and make sure it has comparable square footage, bedroom, bathroom count, see what that house sold for after it was fixed up. Find 3 houses that sold that were really nice in post-renovation fix-ups. And then the average of those 3 prices is going to be your comp for what you think you could sell that house for. After you buy it and put, renovations in it, you should be able to acquire this property. Your goal is to try to acquire it at about 60 cents on the dollar. 60 cents on the dollar, 50 cents on the dollar. That's the goal, because then you have margin to play with in order to sell it at 98, at 100% of the dollar, if that makes sense. So again, it is a job. I would encourage you to take some trainings on this. before you jump into it. But make sure you connect with some local real estate agents if you're interested in properties that are on the multiple listing service. That's one way to do it. Of course, then you could go the whole wholesaling route or work with wholesalers and find off-market properties that way as well. Perhaps Craigslist and other places for sale by owner sections. That's a great resource as well. So I hope you found this helpful, Benjamin. Thank you so much for the great questions. Again, if you would like to leave me a voicemail question, please do. Go to morrisinvest.com/Clayton. And don't forget, become a part of our newsletter because we are going to have our webinar and I'm very excited for it. And I want you to be there with us on our webinar. Again, we'll have a link in the show description and show notes down here. But just go to morrisinvest.com/newsletter to make sure you are on our newsletter. And we will be telling you through that email all about the webinar that's upcoming. So thank you, everyone. Now go out there, take action, become a real estate investor. I believe it's the #1 way to build wealth and store wealth for your family. We'll see you next time.